Gunslingers take the field. Second goal on the 1 yard line. David Olvera. In the shotgun with Callaway Lee standing beside him. Sends a receiver into motion. Hands off to Callaway. Gets down the field, but no signal from the officials.
No signal
that there's a touchdown. There is a flag on the play.
Certainly looked like he broke the plane, but no signal.
The official that would have signaled a touchdown is the one that threw the flag. There is a touchdown. Callaway Lee scores touchdown. That's a Moonlight Ballroom touchdown for your San Antonio Gunslingers, and that will give them another 8-point lead. And the Gunslingers, for the first time in the game, are going to go for 2. David Olvera getting the play from offensive coordinator Herbert Gonzalez, getting in to the huddle and quickly relaying that play to the rest of his team.
Coach Q wants to call a timeout.
Coach Q will call a timeout.
Yep. I think it appears that Coach Q wants to kick.
He will send in Manny Nunez to kick the ball.
Looked like there was some disagreement between him and his offensive coordinator on what they should do in the situation. Coach Q steps in, calls timeout, and makes the call.
My understanding is we're back online. If we've been away, let me recap. This second half has been almost all Austin Wild as they have climbed back in and got within 2 points, 26-24 of the San Antonio Gunslingers. The Gunslingers just moments ago scored a touchdown to move that score to 32-24 with an extra point pending. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Technology is great until it's not.
Big extra point.
And the pass gets fumbled, and Manny Nunez is going to throw the ball over to Joey Fisher in one of those plays that never happens that way. It just doesn't. The kicker never picks up the ball and throws the ball to a receiver for a 2-point conversion. It just doesn't happen. Manny Nunez picks up the ball that wound up at his feet, tosses the ball out to Joey Fisher, and the Gunslingers scored 2 points to take a 10-point lead.
Play of the game.
There was some conversation before the play and actually a timeout because they didn't know if they wanted 1 point or 2 points. Apparently they didn't know until the play what they wanted.
Manny Nunez made the decision for them. And he turns around and flexes for everyone here in the Rose Palace.
A little bit of a fumble on the snap there from the holder. Those things happen. We saw them happen to Mississippi a couple of times last week. This time, Manny Nunez is able to pick up the ball at his feet, set his feet, and throw the ball out to Joey Fisher and score 2 points for his team, setting up a 10-point lead. We are within the final minute of the quarter and of the game, unless the Austin Wild can somehow come up with 10 points. Manny Nunez lining up to kick the ball after just throwing a 2-point conversion. He kicks the ball down the field and unfortunately hits the roof of the Rose Palace here, and there's a flag on the kick down the field.
Why not?
Sure. We've seen everything else.
Certainly seen a lot of those flags.
Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties. Our understanding is the stream's back online. San Antonio Gunslingers here in the final minute of the fourth quarter, holding on to a 10-point lead over the Austin Wild. Austin Wild will be right back here in the Rose Palace in just 2 weeks on April 12th. Come join us. It's a great atmosphere. You'll have a good time. And the stream never dies when you're live. Did you know that? Ball at the 20-yard line of the Gunslingers as the Austin Wild are beginning to get into desperation mode a little bit. They need 10 points or more, and they need it in the next few seconds. Carl Robinson will send a receiver into motion, snap the ball, look down the field, try to escape a tackle, and won't be able to escape the tackle of Eric England, but there's a reason. It's because Eric England had his collar, and that is not a legal tackle in any level of football, folks.
Right. Another flag, another penalty. The Austin Wild will get some yards out of that. Another first down, another opportunity, but might be too little too late.
First down and goal from the 10-yard line for the Austin Wild, needing 10 points in the next few seconds. Robinson back in the shotgun. Ball is snapped. He will look into the end zone trying to find anybody, but it's not going to work out for him as he is going to get wrestled down by Callaway Lee, playing the defensive side of the ball. Hey, guess what? We've got flags on the field.
And more than one. Yeah, Callaway Lee was all over Robinson. He did good just to get that ball away. Let's see what the flag is. Looks like it's offsetting.
Offsetting penalties. We'll set up another try at first down and 10. First down and goal, really, from the 10-yard line. Robinson breaks the huddle. Hoping to find a way to get his team to victory, but beginning to run out of time very quickly. Robinson sends his receiver, Arvin Jackson, into motion, throws the ball out to the corner, and it is intercepted by the Gunslingers. Sealing the victory is number 19, and it's not Kali Rashad. And that will seal the Gunslingers' victory. There is still time left on the clock, but that is really not the point anymore. The Gunslingers have a 10-point victory, 10-point lead in the ball with less than 30 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Philip, looking over at the far end, beyond that end zone over there, it looks like maybe they've got the situation under control, but there's an exchange between some fans and some Wild players. One of the Wild players tried to climb over the fence to get at the fan, was pulled back down by his teammates. But not a good situation happening over there on that far end zone.
We want our fans
de-escalated.
We want our fans to have a great time here at the San Antonio Rose Palace. We want you to enjoy yourself. We do not want you to challenge athletic pro athletes to a fight at any point. That's not a good idea. There is no winner in that situation. Well, David Olvera will take the field on a 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. And a flag comes in for a delay of game penalty against David Olvera, against the Gunslingers.
And there's no victory formation in arena football, so they can't just simply run out the clock.
You must gain positive yardage to keep the clock running. To that end, defenses can stop the clock if they can stop you behind the line of scrimmage. Sean Mueller will take the ball and will just get.
Looks like he.
Penalty flag comes in with some. And this is the time you would certainly expect a game to get chippy, when things are ultimately decided.
And unfortunately, it looks like there's still discussion going on in the corner over there in that end zone between players and patrons.
Not the way any of this needs to go. Fans paid their money. They have a right to a certain amount of cheering for their team or ribbing the other team. Like, that's okay. But players also deserve a certain amount of respect. They're out here trying as hard as they can to win this game for their team. To be disrespectful to a player that has come out to give a good time. That's going to be the ball game. San Antonio Gunslingers are going to take a 34-24 victory in Game 3 of their season. That's going to put their record at 2-1 on the season. Austin Wild's going to fall to 0-1. We're going to take a break, and then we'll come right back for the post-game show. You're listening to San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day Football right here. Keep it right here. Agent to complete a complimentary design consultation, or go online to architect.com. Finally, Gunslingers Football is brought to you by the Smoking Guns Podcast. Smoking Guns Podcast is your one and only source for information and analysis on the San Antonio Gunslingers. Every week, Philip, Leo, and RC will take you inside the Gunslingers as they battle their way through the West Division of the American Arena League. Find all their episodes online at smokinggunspod.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. The 210 got something to say. Gunslingers take a 10-point victory, 34-24 over the Austin Wild in the first of two matchups against Austin. Austin will be back in the building on April 12th. Come join us. Come hang out in the Rose Palace and enjoy football live in San Antonio, something that you haven't been able to do for the last couple of years. But for tonight, really a tale of two halves here, Leo.
Yeah.
Gunslingers really in control in the first half. The Austin Wild battling back and really making a game out of this in the second half. Just an impressive game from both teams, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for the Gunslingers defense, who time and time again found themselves in tough situations. They dominated the first half. They were the reason why they had the lead in the first half. And in the second half, give credit to this Austin Wild team. They made some adjustments, and they came out and did some things that confused the defense a little bit, turned the tables, and were very, very nearly able to pull off the comeback. But towards the end there, the defense got a key stop on a possession, turnover on downs deep in the Wild territory, which put their offense in a good position to give them a score and put a little cushion on there where they were able to be a little bit more comfortable there in the last closing minutes.
Gunslingers take a 10-point victory, 34-24 over the Austin Wild. And as you see the Gunslingers gathering there on the field, meeting together as a team, Leo, player of the game for the Gunslingers? Can you really find one?
You know,
lots of good stuff going on all over the field.
A lot going on.
Not anybody that really stood out. Perhaps Michael Williams, 2 touchdowns. First touchdown from David Oliveira in the end zone there in the first quarter. And then in the second quarter, he was able to return a kick for a touchdown, adding 12 points in a 10-point victory. Sure seems like you made a difference to me.
Absolutely. In a 10-point game, those 2 scores would make all the difference. I would have to agree with you there on making Michael Williams the player of the game. The play of the game was definitely the heads-up play by kicker Manny Nunez, able to take that botched point-after attempt and turn it into a 2-point conversion with his pass to Joey Fisher.
Taking an 8-point lead, turning it into a 10-point lead late in the fourth quarter. On the defensive side of the ball, Jonathan Taylor, who has been a disruptive performer before for the Gunslingers, really made a difference, certainly in that first half, just hassling Carl Robinson all over the field in that first half and making him uncomfortable. So Jonathan Taylor, certainly on the defensive side of the ball, one of your players of the game for the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Absolutely. He was a force. He's definitely consistently been a disruptor for the Gunslingers defense and continued that this game, especially in the first half. This game has to go to the defense of the Gunslingers. Absolutely. That unit really carried them throughout the game, really, but particularly in that first half. Second half, they were challenged, but were able to come up with the plays when it counted at the end.
You don't want to miss the game here on the 12th. Both teams feel like they should have won this game, or they could have won this game. The Gunslingers feel like they should have won this game. They should have had a better handle all the way through. The Austin Wild look at this game and go, man, just a few different things break differently for us, and we may end up walking out of the Rose Palace with a victory tonight in our opener.
They very nearly did. And now that they have film, they've got a feel for each other. They've got 2 weeks to prepare for that game. I think it's going to be interesting, to say the least, on the next chance these teams have a chance to meet each other.
We're going to take one more quick break, get in the last of our sponsors, and then we'll be back to wrap this thing up from San Antonio Rose Palace. This is Gunslingers Game Day Football.
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
34-24 your final here at the San Antonio Rose Palace as the Gunslingers take the victory and improve to 2-1, and they will get ready to welcome in the Austin Wild here in just 2 weeks on April 12th. Austin drops to 0-1, and they will be back here in just 2 weeks to take on these Gunslingers. For myself, my broadcast partner, Leo Yamas, and for Jonas Clark back in our booth, making everything go and making everything work. We appreciate you hanging out with us. We're thankful for your time and your attention. Be here next week, 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
For more Gunslinger football, or just come to the Rose Palace and enjoy the game with us. You've been watching San Antonio Gunslingers Game Day Football. Gunslingers take a 34-24 victory from the Austin Wild to improve to 2-1. Have a great night.